Yeah, hello. Here we are again. My name is CrEaToXx, and I am a mod creator on the currently Starfield Nexus. And if you watched my previous video, you know how to set up, you know how to currently set up your modding environment, your mod creation environment, in order to allow you to mod the game. And this video, episode 2, is going to show you how to mod the UI, and specifically how to modify colors and add text. Okay, so, and as I stated in my previous video, I'm always having links to folders for easy access, or sometimes if there is not an awful lot of size of the files of a folder, I also directly copy it to the desktop. But you don't want to make that a habit. That's important, okay? Because if you have too many files on your desktop, it will slow down your computer. So don't make that a habit, okay? So, however, the interface folder, which I already had opened with all the original flash files, and the particular flash file for my modding tutorial here is the player HUD components GFX, and I'm just going to copy that to my desktop because I'm not touching anything in the extracted interface folder, because I would always use that as backup if something goes wrong, okay? Then I have my Steam installation folder where I just would copy, because I'm also using the desktop variant of the file as a second backup, and then I would just copy that over to my Steam install for testing, okay? So that's how I'm working. And you can double-click your player HUD component in order to access the tool that I'm using for UI modifications, and that tool is named JPEGs, and you can find it on GitHub. See, you just go to the version download, and I recommend using the zipped file because, well, I simply can't be bothered to use the installer. The only advantage for me personally that the installer is giving is that it will automatically, during the install procedure, ask you to associate those flash files, SWF and GFX type. And as I said, you can usually double click it, and then you need to press not all. But as you can see, it's version 11.2, and the current version is 18.5. So if you double click, that's probably not going to happen to you. But I have two versions installed because for other mods I'm using the old version. But you can circumvent that by just dragging and dropping it on your most up-to-date install and no to all, because you don't have the source. And there we are, okay? So that's our flash files with the header, okay? In that header you can, for example, edit the frame rate to 60 FPS. I would recommend don't do 120 FPS because, I don't know, reason, it doesn't matter. Maybe you can make up a reason, or I can do at one point, and you can also modify those rect variables here. For example, if you want to adapt a file for widescreen or something like that, or if you just want to, whatever you want to do, okay? And I have to say right now, I don't even know if upping this to 60 FPS does anything at all, okay? So, and what we want to do today is adding colors to the player HUD meter components, specifically the health bar, the jetpack meter, and the O2 meters, okay? But for this video, I'm only going to show you how to edit the O2 meters. This is the broad one, and this is the normal one. This is the small one if you open the in-game scanner. And I'm only going to show that as an example on the oxygen bar, because it's basically exactly the same for the health bar and the jetpack, the process that we are learning here, okay? So, and in order to apply colors to the oxygen bar, the first thing that you want to do is, and I'm doing that, you can actually just go to the internet and search for color codes. It's using the red, green, blue, so it's using RGB, not RBG, RGB, and you can just Google for RGB code, okay, and then you have color charts here, but I'm not going to do that. See, there you have a color, and then it gives you those numbers. Those three numbers, those are the important, that's what you want to use. And also the hex code if you need it at any point. But I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is staying true with the default color palette. Okay, so, and I need a blue color, a ice blue color, a red color, a orange color, and a yellow or brighter orange color, I'd say. And how you do that, you just go to your shape in question, which is define shape 92. So, shapes, okay? Not sprites, shapes. You can, of course, do that for the sprites, but it's easier accessible in the shapes. And then you just open the shape with style, the fill styles, and there you have it, okay? There you have it. And you could just copy paste, but that is way too complicated for me. And what I do is just making a text file. Because you only have to do that once, okay? I'm just making a text file on my desktop, and that's where I put all those color codes in, okay? So you always have them. You don't need to search them over and over again, or copy and paste, or whatever. It's just it's more efficient, okay? You know how we Germans like efficiency. So yeah, it's more efficient. Just put it in a text file and there you go. You have it always available for easy access. So, and you want to do that for all the colors that you want to use in your particular edit, okay? So the next step would be you go back to your sprite. You can also do the edit on the shapes, but I don't recommend that because the sprite is giving you more detailed access, because if you edit any of the shapes, it will apply to all sprites that are making use of those shapes, okay? And sometimes there are multiple sprites instancing the shapes, okay? And maybe, I don't know, what should I take as example? Maybe you want to have a particular color in the map icon, but on the HUD you want that color to be different, you know, and if you would edit the shape, it would apply to both variants, and in the sprite you have more detail. That's just an example. Of course, in the player HUD components GFX, there isn't a map icon, I believe, but that was just an example. So you go to your sprite, you find your O2 bar, in my case, whatever you are searching for. The cool thing about it is they are very well labeled, so you can basically easy find them. And then you go to the frame, and there you have the info, okay? And in the right portion of the editor. And what I specifically want to do is every 25%, I want to change the color, because as you can see here, that meter is just white all the way, no matter how much your oxygen how much oxygen is left. And what I want to do is every 25%, I want to change the color from white to yellow, to orange, and then red. And you could also edit to use every 10% or every 33%, whatever comes to your mind. So, but as you can see, those frames, and all of those frames actually are made of 60 sprites. Some are not, but most of them are made of 60 frames. And what I want to do is 25%, as I said, and basically you just divide 60 by 4, and what you get is 15. So, on every 15th frame, you make your edit. For me, that is 16, 31, and 46. So that's the place where you want to put in your 3 colors. And now we go to how to actually do that. Okay, you just open the frame, click on place object, then you go to edit down here, and you add a color transform or color matrix, how I name it, which probably isn't true. I mean, it reads place flag has color transform, so it's a color transform, but I'm just, because I'm used to name it like that, because I believe in another game I was modding, it was named like that, or an older version, I can't remember right now. And you enable the add terms and the mult terms, okay? And then you go to the alpha mult term, the multiplier term, not the addition term, and you enter 255. Basically what that does is make your color not transparent. If you put that to 0, your color change will never show up, it will just be transparent, okay? So, and now we go to the yellow that we want to have, 205. So, I'm moving that to my second monitor, because if I keep it here, and I move over to the tool, you see, I always have to go back and forth, and that's not what I'm going to do. So I'm moving it to my second monitor for easy access again, and then you just write down the numbers in the correct succession here. 205, 178, and 35. And that's about it, okay? You press save, there we go. There we have our yellow color, okay? Now move on to 31. Do the same again. Enable the color transform. And if you press on color transform to enable the boolean to true, and it doesn't add that color transform tag down here, just click anywhere in the screen and we'll then add it. Then we go add the multiplier terms and addition terms. Alpha channel, it's always 255. I believe you can also use 256, but I'm staying with 255 because it's not really much difference. Then we enter our orange color, 201, 108, and 42, so it's the answer to anything. See, deeper orange. Now we go to 46. Do the same step again. Alpha channel. Red. Green. Blue. Save. There we go. Red. Then you save your file. Save it. And you move it from your desktop, copy, to your Steam install interface folder, okay? That's important. And I'm just copying over it my already existing, because in my mod folder I have in my where I keep all my mods folder, I have the backup. So just copy it over and replace that file in destination. Now we're going to go into the game, and I'm going to show you the edit. And basically what happens is after 25% the bar will be yellow, after 50% it will be orange, after 75% it will be red. So, percentage of oxygen depletion. Yes, thank you. Load, please. Yeah. Okay, so here we are. Look to the lower left corner, and we begin to sprint. See? Yellow color. Orange color. Red color. That's about it. That's the whole magic of adding or editing colors, okay? That's about it. That's about that part of the tutorial. The next the next part will be about adding text or editing text, okay? See you in a second or so. I'm just gonna make a cut here. Yeah, and here we are. Part 2 of tutorial number 2. Modding the UI, the interface files. And this second part is about adding text to any of the sprite elements. And I already, let's say, practice, because I'm not very coming from Fallout 4 and Skyrim, which is a long time ago. It's for Skyrim is years ago, and as far as I can tell, the Starfield UI is closer to the one used in Skyrim than the one used in Fallout 4, because there are some similarities in the elements that I can tell, yeah, maybe they were using Skyrim as a template here. So it's closer to Skyrim than Fallout 4. And it's years ago that I modded the UI for Skyrim, and I just have to relearn parts of it, and that's why I practice in my player HUD component GFX in the Steam install, and the result is what I want to show you here. Basically, we are adding text to an existing sprite, and it is done in a very hacky way, but it's basically just to show off how you want to add text, okay? That's the only reason we are doing that, because that is a prerequisite for tutorial number 3, when we are delving into adding new sprites or editing existing sprites to add new content or whatever you want to do. So, and I've added my text to the actual HUD mission icon or quest icon or whatever you want. And I step out of the ship now and move my screen. You see this text close to the center. This is a super special CrEaToXx text. Okay, that's what I just added as example. So let's get out again. Show you that in the flash file. See, that's our text edition in the text section. Texts, there we have our text edition. And what I basically did was cloning this one and then give it a new. Oh wait, I wasn't cloning that one. You want to clone the sprite, but for that one you just add a new tag and then you then I copied over that HTML code, I'd say. I don't even know if it's HTML, but it looks like HTML code. It's not ActionScript, I can tell that, so it's just a font code. I don't know. I would need to Google what exactly it is and copied over this or added that CSM text setting tag. Okay? And then I moved to the mission compass icon holder, cloned this place object too, and modified the clone. Gave it the ID that the text is having, and that's another thing that you are learning here. IDs are important, and usually if you clone or add new tags, they will the tool will auto-select the next free ID for you. But sometimes that's not the case, and then you have to manually edit it. And basically, as I said, what I did was adding cloning that place object tag and then modified the clone. And by the ID, you can tell that it's the text. And then I added a scale. So the size I actually edited in the font code, and then I translated it so that it will show up. And I believe if you set up a 0, 0, that's exactly the center. I believe in Fallout it was like that, that 0, 0 would mean exactly left upper corner. I'm not sure, maybe I'm talking bullshit here. But I think 0, 0 translate means the center of the screen. And however, let's show how I've done that. You go to your backup on the... Ah, man, I double-clicked it again. You douche. Not supposed to double-click. Using the old Flash version. A Flash decompiler version. And first you want to add the text. Okay. Add tag after. And just define edit text. Okay. So, see? Add the tag, he's giving it a the next following up ID. Though you can also use a custom one, though I don't know for the text where exactly I have to edit it. But at one point in one of my tutorials I'm going to show you. Then you just copy, at least that's what I'm doing. You can probably just write the code, but why waste time on writing code if you already have a code template existing and can just copy paste it and then change it, you know? So, and I expanded those coordinates because the text doesn't show up otherwise, because it will be shrinked or compressed. And you want to fiddle around with those numbers, and at one point, the more you fiddle, I'd say, the more understanding you will have for the coordinate system. And it's a lot of trial and fail, I can tell you that. If you're not, if you're like me, not a professional IT person, it's a lot of trial and fail. And then you edit the text here. Todd Howard is not the go at exclamation mark. Okay. And coordinates. Red wrap. I'm not sure what that is doing, but that's a function that you have a lot of in multiple text programs. Multi-line says it should write everything in one line or in multiple lines, so above each other. Read only, that you can only read and not select or interact with it. HTML, oh yeah, so it's HTML code or HTML compatible. Use outlines. It's, I believe that's a barrier. You can give it a color. You can give it a font. You can align it to the center, left or right. Then the margin is fine-tuning the coordinates, I'd say. And all the settings that you have here, it will be applied to that line of code. And there you can, so for example, I believe, I'm not sure, let's test if it's going to do that. If I put a right in here, it would change it in... No, it does not. Okay. Okay, that was wrong. it does not automatically change it, so you have to change it by set. Basically, that's the raw code from the settings that you set up here, you know, and I don't know why it updates. In a Flash tool like Adobe Flash, it would do automatically do that. And you can change the font size, you can change the text color, the letter spacing, so how far apart the single letters are. Kerning, I can't remember now what it is. And then you wrap it up in a proper CrEaToXx, save, and another thing that you want to do is adding a CS setting, which you find here, CSM setting. Idiot. Not there. Right into it. Attach tag. CSM settings, and you just copy over the settings from the previous ID text, which is user flash type 1 and grid fit 2. Edit 1, 2. Flash type is the specific flash type, I'd say, and grid fit is where the position of a grid, whatever the grid is. I'm not sure. I'm going to find out during my fiddling sessions in future, I guess. So, and you save, and now you have that text available, and we memorize that ID 1379. Then we go to the, which one was it again? Mission Compass icon holder number 44, this one. And we just clone that one, okay? Then we move over here, edit, change the ID to 1379, it was, right? Man, I'm old. I can't memorize shit properly. 1379. Okay, so that's the correct ID. And then we want to add has rotate. Wait. Was it has rotate? Has scale, has rotate, and what was it again? And how you find out that by fiddling around and going through all the sprites and find the one that fits the one that you want to add here, because it's a bit different from that text, because that is not text but the actual icon, so you have to change some of the variables here, okay? And oh wait, I'm in the wrong one, right? Yes, idiot. So, and we're just giving the coordinates, and convenient as it is, because that was also fiddling, and fiddling in that case means you set up the translate numbers, and then you go in the game, where is that thing? Then you go out, and then you write another number, and then you see, okay, where is that thing? And then at one point, which I would usually do, is just taking a piece of paper, so analog paper, not digital paper, and use that in Dana 4. I don't know how you name that paper in English. In German, we say DIN A4, and that is my screen. And then I put points on that paper and just notify the number. And at one point, that and at one point in the future, that will be a matrix where I can tell, okay, that's the coordinates. Then you know where to put things. You know, the process of learning. But the more you learn, the easier it will be in future. That's for sure. So, and for convenience reasons, I just copy that over, because I know it's going to show up there. And let's compare the translate, yeah, and save. Yeah. Oh wait, forgot something. The scale, yeah, the scale doesn't matter. It's a little bit smaller than this time, and we're going to copy it over. This is the file that's already existing in the Steam folder. We're just going to copy our edit over and allow to replace. Go in the game. And if I didn't do anything wrong, recreating what I just did right before, we're going to have Todd Howard as text in our game. Come on, load. Load! Load! I say load! Actually, if you find that voice funny, if it's speed up, wait when I make a speed up Mickey Mouse voice. It sounds something like this, you know? That's really, really, really crazy. Let's tag this quest tag here, and then we go out, and there we go. We have, you see, it's a little bit smaller. You can see it. So that's the difference of the scale factor, because if I put the scale that I was using in my previous test, it would be more to the center, but as you can read here, Todd Howard is Tay Goat. Okay? So, and that's basically it. That's how you add text and add this text to a sprite. Which means that's about it for this tutorial. See you next time around. Goodbye.